Khan, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakakwadash. The water Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai for this day. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. The water Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. Barak the elders of Great Millstone, who taught us this truth and sincerity, you know. The elders who's on the highways and the byways, ruling well, doing well, double honors to them, right? Salutations to the elders of Connecticut, the elder bishops, the brothers in the four winds, preaching the truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, shalom, to the Israelite foreigner to a phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom to you sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Aram Yehawada with the lesson. And this is you know, this is kind of old news now, but time is starting to speed up. You know, the Lord is speeding things up. So it says earthquake aftershocks. Rattles New York City and beyond, right? And that's exactly what's going to happen, man. Right? The stock market's going to crash sooner or later, and this is all a nomen omen of what's about to happen, right? Because that stock markets are going to crash, and it's gonna hit New York City, and beyond that, right? So it says one of the largest East Coast earthquakes in the last century, right? So you got earthquakes, you got, you know, you got cannibalism in the earth, you got wickedness, you got men being lovers of themselves, right? Men loving money. So you got all the, you know, you got the distress of nations, right? You got World War III in the mix. You got the charagma in the mix. So everything is speeding up, man. Right?
This came across my attention about the solar eclipse, and I don't think y'all know how biblical it's finna get. Yeah, let's turn to Matthew 16. Ye cannot discern the signs of the time? The wicked generation and adulteress seeketh a sign, but there will be no signs given, but the sign of the prophet Jonah. And for those who don't know who the prophet Jonah is, you about to find out. See, Jonah was on an assignment to go to the great city of Nineveh and preach against it. Yeah, because it had became wicked before the Most High. No, Jonah didn't listen to the Most High. He would have much rather seen them get turned to Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0. And then Jonah finally obeyed the Most High. He went to the city of Nineveh and told them, you got 40 days to repent before the Most High come and set it off. And apparently the people in Nineveh, they got some act right and turned from their evil and violent ways. The Most High was like, cool, it's no more smoke. And we just read the only sign that the wicked generation would get is the signs of the prophet Jonah, right? What a coinkydink. Now pay attention to the trajectory and look at the cities that it's going over. Y'all see that, right? Nineveh, Jonah. It will be like the days of Noah, the ark. I got the message. Turn from y'all wicked ways and talk to the Most High. Because if not, he gonna set it off. Now let me know in the comments though. It's the signing. Like and follow for more wisdom and stay tuned.
Cheers, and look, and it crossed through all the place that says Nineveh, right? So time is speeding up.
Find a pro to install new shades. Okay. With Thumbtack, you can easily find top-rated professionals for every home project. Thumbtack, the easy way to care for your home.
We're here tonight at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Great American Eclipse of 2024. This place was packed with tens of thousands from all 50 states and 33 countries around the world to watch this cosmic spectacle as the moon slipped between the Earth and the sun, turning day into night and then sunlight into total darkness. You know, the word Monday actually means day of the moon, and that certainly held true today. The historic path of totality crossed into the U.S. and Texas at 2:27 p.m. Eastern Time and then traveled over parts of 15 states through Maine before heading into Canada at 3:35 p.m. Eastern. It was something to see, and about 31 million people live in the path of the total solar eclipse, and then millions more travel to catch a glimpse.
An unusual story during the solar eclipse. A woman in Florida says God directed her to start shooting at cars.
Police say the 22-year-old checked out of a hotel yesterday and told staff she was going on a shooting spree. The woman is accused of hurting two drivers. She was booked on charges of attempted murder, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, and improper discharge of a firearm.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC 7.
Yeah, you got everything, the love of many waxing cold, right? It says Daily News, New York Daily News, right? Woman says God told her to go on Florida shooting spree due to the eclipse. Right, which moon in itself goes to what lunar or loon goes into lunatic, right? So this is going to be a time that what people are going to become what lunatics. So this shooting is just one example of what's to come, right? Then of course it had to be a Eve, right? Which, like, one of the brothers I would listen to him, he was saying that they could try to tie that to this Israelite thing, this thing of ours, right? Like they always do, like some made up thing that they said about a shooting at a kosher deli in Jersey, all these things that they'll try to come stabbing or whatever, and they come to find out them dudes was not a part of a camp. They really didn't have any true understanding of the Bible at all, and they believed in a bunch of different beliefs which don't line up with the Bible. The Bible, you cannot line up anything. This is not cohesive with any other belief system. But they do that to make it a so-called black thing, right? You could be Islam, you could be Kemet, and you could so-called believe all in the Most High, and all of it's all cohesive. But the Lord said, none shall want her mate. You cannot line this up with any other thing, right? You got what is this? This is the New York Times. It says Iran and Israel, right? Which we know this is very biblical times, man. This is all we have hope for, right? This is the thing that we need to happen. And though a lot of this is them playing on the stage, it's all a stage, it's a theater, But the Lord said there will be wars and rumors of wars. So maybe this might be a rumor, right? Something fictitious, a false flag. But the Lord is going to turn it up where it is not going to be false, right? And it's going to be on a very high level, right? So it says, Iran and Israel exchange new threats. See, and it ain't gonna be you just exchanging threats, right? See, that could be a false. You know, when you're just threatening, it means nothing. It's a false thing, right? After strikes on Iranian commander, so supposedly they actually did strike Iranian commander, but we wasn't there. We don't know what's going on. We don't know if they did the look over here while they do something else over there. But according to this is enough. Someone shoot at you, it's enough to start a war, right? Right? It's enough to get some things going. It says the leadership of Iran has reportedly vowed to avenge the deadly April 1st strike on Iranian ambassador building in Damascus, right? All right. And what is Damascus? Ain't that a biblical place? You can read about the Damascus in the Bible, right? But people will say you're not living in the Bible times, right? You seen where the clips went through all the cities of Nineveh, right here in America. That's very biblical, right? But you're not living in the Bible times, right? Right?
Kenya is coming out with a digital ID program. That's right, something as crazy as that, because Bill Gates is the one who's behind it and backing it. Check this video out, and I'll be back.
Now, it even gets worse. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is continuing its global push to support its so-called government-backed digital ID programs, and this time setting its sight on Kenya, where it will advise the government on that country's Maisha Namba digital ID initiative that is currently under development. So, according to a Kenyan news agency, Gates' role is assisting the Kenyan government in its development, and the rollout of Maisha Namba was announced after a recent series of the closed...
Now, I don't know if you remember when I was saying I speak as a man, but the whole thing they're over there doing to Levi over there, right, which, you know, what they call the so-called Haitians, right, is going to be like the kickoff to Jacob's trouble. But here it is, they're talking about rolling out this digital ID in Kenya, but also who was they going to try to go over there to Haiti and so-called police them, right? Yeah, so this is a Kenyan court rules deployment to lead UN mission in Haiti illegal. A Kenyan court on Friday ruled against the government's plan to deploy police to Haiti. So you're talking about somebody way on the other side of the world. You're talking about in a place that has nothing to do with Kenya, right? Haiti has nothing to do with them, right? It don't have nothing to do with the UN, right? All these other places, right? They really should just leave them alone and let them deal with their own thing. But they have to do this because it's controlled opposition, because they're actually controlling the gangs. All the people who's there, I even got a guy that's from Haiti that works at my job. All the Haitian, the people who live there, but they don't really have a voice, right? So they know that the government is funding the gangs, and it's all orchestrated on both ends. But who's the puppet master even behind them? It's Esau. It's these elites. It's America, the UN, the French, right? The Spain, these other people who basically the Edomites, right? Right? That's why this is the so-called French news or whatever, French24.com, their news, right? So, and it says, deploy police to Haiti to lead in a UN-backed multinational mission aimed to restore order in the gang-plagued Caribbean nation, right? Which they don't need you. They got uranium, or however your uranium, whatever it is, but it's worth 3 times more than gold, which is the reason why you're there, right? So imagine that. So they're getting ready to implement this ID to these Kenyans, and they're gonna push them over there. So what do you think they're gonna try to push off on the Haitian people? Because Esau know how you Jakes are about people who may have the same skin tone as you, right? Who may have some similar things that you might have a little bit of woolly hair, but these people are of another nation, right? It means nothing if these people get the charagma, right? Then plus on top of that, they could be there forcing it upon Jake, upon Israel, right?
Listen to this.
The digital ID, which has been a big problem to us for a very long time, is now on a testing mode for the next 2 months. I have been assured by all the stakeholders, led by the ministries concerned, that by December, we will be able.
Yeah, he's hit by all the stakeholders, right? Stakeholder mean all the people who are invested, who got money, who stand to make money off these people getting the charagma, right? Right, which most likely is first and foremost the international bankers, which is your you-wish people, right? The small hatters, right? Small hat, big nose people, right?
To launch digital ID, where every Kenyan don't have to carry any paper, plastic or otherwise, as an ID that they should be able to be identified digitally using their iris.
If you're a first or second year med student taking anatomy,
Stupid ass commercials.
Able to be identified digitally using their iris or their fingerprints, and we can transact without the necessity of people struggling to identify who they are. And the proudest part.
Yeah. Can you imagine that? So then you'll have these guys coming over to police Jake under duress, under the influence of them having the charagma under their own citizens. So you think they're not gonna push that upon Jake? Right? They're gonna push that all upon Israel, right? And then now all of a sudden, things is kicking up. Even Simeon is having problems over there, right? Simeon over in that so-called La La Land, loving the Edomites, all in love with their slave master. They're gonna get the rudest awakening they've ever had in their lives, right? It's gonna be worse than the Assyrians, right? Because you're gonna see what's up, man, right? Yeah, man. You got the distress of nations, right? We've got things that's going on. It says protesters in southern Mexico. You got protests everywhere, right, around the world. So protests in southern Mexico set state government buildings afire and torch a dozen cars, right? And all this is set up, also to be order out of chaos. But, initially people are finally being fed up, right? Sick and tired of being sick and tired. But at the same time, the elite said you never let a good crisis go to waste, and that's what they're doing, right? Because people are starting to rise up. It says the Chela por Singo por Porta Cheta Porta Singo. What? Oh my God. Yeah. So you got you also got the stress of nations, right? It says protesters in southern Mexico set state government buildings afire, torch a dozen vehicles, right? So one part, people are being upset, but another part, this order out of chaos, right? This is things that they're setting up, or the elites say, never let a good crisis go to waste. So these are, let's see, because sometimes they make it seem like people are just upset for no reason. But it says Chotapinga, Chopinga, or whatever, however you say it, Mexico. Protesters in southern Mexico set the state government building afire Monday and torched at least a dozen cars in the parking lot. Protesters occupied in a violent racket city and Pingo, whatever, however you say it, the capital of the Pacific coast of Goryeo, something like it. It says the protesters are demanding answers in the case of 43 students at the Raul Teacher College who disappeared in 2014. Other students from that college was dead in a confrontation with the police in March. Oh shit. Right. That's insane. So yeah, they got a legitimate reason to be rioting or protesting in such a manner. Right? How do you set it? Let me see if I can type it in. So I'm not just completely. The Guerrero State government said in a statement that it regrets and condemns the violent acts. The government noted the statement entire secretary had resigned following the March confrontation with students. The police officers involved are under investigation in the deaths. Right. All right, so yeah, man, all sorts of things, Salaki, but hey, all sorts of things are happening in this world. Some things right before your face, right before your eyes. Other things abroad, but things are happening in the earth, right? Yeah, so this is Revelation chapter 6, verse 12. And I beheld, right, which means to look. Right, to look, pay attention. Basically to look at. When he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, what means to look, also, there was a great earthquake, right? And that's actually dealing with the missiles that's going to hit America, right? But, I'm just using this verse because the earthquake that was in New York was a great earthquake too for them. But, things are going to go on a higher scale real soon, right? And then, of course, we had the solar eclipse too, and the sun became black as sackcloth. And so when the solar eclipse happened, it made the sun black as sackcloth, right, of hair. And the moon became as blood, right? And we had those blood moons, right, which are all signs, right? So it says, and the stars of heaven fall upon the earth, which is really talking about the missiles, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs, right? Which the missiles or figs are shaped like the missiles, or the missiles are shaped like figs, however you want to say it. But it gives you that kind of he was describing it. And there was no such thing as ICBM missiles in the time of of any of these prophets. But at this time, this was John, right? John the Revelator, right? What they call John the Revelator, right? When she is shaken, right? Which is talking about America, right? Which is that whore is going to be shaken. Babylon the Great, that whore, the mother of harlots, shall be shaken, right? Which, or Nineveh, right? Because like a lot of people were saying, like I said, they say they're not in the Bible days. Well, this is also, America's also known as Nineveh, which proves that we've been saying that for quite some time, right? Because right where the path of the eclipse is going to go through a lot of cities that basically correlate with the word Nineveh, which is a biblical place, which Nineveh eventually did get destroyed, right, because of their wickedness. All right. You know, you did what Nineveh did. You know, you had your 9/11. Everybody got spooked and scared, went and bought Bibles and all that type of thing. And that's pretty much what Nineveh did. They got scared and spooked for a little bit, but they went right back to their wickedness, and eventually, later on, Nineveh got destroyed. And that's what's coming to America, right? And she is shaken of a mighty wind, right? In which that wind is that besom of destruction, right? That sweeping agent of the fire, of the fire from the nukes, right? So that's definitely coming, right? Yeah, this is Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. And God, which is not talking about the Most High, it's talking about angels, right? Gods, plural. Elohims, because that's really what it should say. And Elohim said, "Let there be lights in the firmament," right? Because it was the angels, right? Which, you know, Yahweh Shai is. Yahweh Shai is the top angel. Who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ is the top angel, right? Which you're all angels too. You Israelites, you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. You're Israelite. You're the Israelites, so you're angels, right? In bodies right now. You got corruptible bodies, but Yahweh Shai is the only angel right now that is in his uncorruptible bodies. But we were, Lord willing, if we were that elect, you were part of that uncorrupted body that helped create these lights that's in the firmament and of heaven, to divide the day from the night, and let them be for what? Signs, and for seasons, and for days, and for years. And that's ultimately what's been happening, man. Right? Moon goes into the word month, and you know there's 12 moon cycles within the year, which is a year, right? And there's 7 days within the week of each week within the moon cycle, which creates a month, right? Which in tunes, it's a sign to let you know that what it's the Sabbath, or it's the you know, it's the you know, the day of the Feast of Trumpets or whatever it is. But it really is gonna, yeah, it'd be like a Sabbath, or you know, a day, you know, or the first day of the month also, right? So, and also what it's telling you, what there's a sign to what the end of this place, right? That you deem to be home, but the Lord said this is not your rest. If you are so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, right? So, and let them be for lights. Okay, yeah, it's not. But yeah, basically, these are signs, and that's a sign that putting an X through something, you know, you gangbangers, right? What do? You see the other person's hood, right? I don't know, if you haven't been on the West Coast, watch a movie called Colors, and the guy X's out another hood or another guy from somewhere else's name that was on the wall. And though that thing is basically a it's a no-no. It's like a threat. It's a, you know, you're declaring something that you may or may not want something part of it, right? But it gets deep, you know. You think it's just some crayons on the wall and people are just writing on the wall, but people lived and died because of that, because you X'd out their name. So the Lord is Xing out America, so he's threatening this place. Yeah, so this is Acts chapter 2, verse 19. And I will show wonders in heaven above and signs in the earth beneath, right? Blood and fire and vapor of smoke. And what the Lord sent down fire on 100 people and their captain, right? Because there were 3 regiments of 50 during the time of Elijah, and Elijah, or was it? Yeah, I think it was Elijah. Let me see, or was it Elisha? You know what I mean? You know what? Yeah, so this is Acts chapter 2, verse 19. And I will show or shew wonders in heaven above and signs, right? Because this eclipse was a sign, right? In the earth beneath, blood, right? The Lord made the rivers turn into blood in Egypt, right? And fire, right? And vapor of smoke, right? He made fire. Elijah, the Lord used Elijah to call down fire upon 2 regiments of 50. So it was I believe it was 3 altogether, but he called down fire on 2 of the regiments and their captain, their leader, right through Elijah, and vapor of smoke, right? Because what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah? It became nothing but a vapor and a smoke, right? These are all signs. The Lord left signs for you, which they did. They had scientists go to where Sodom and Gomorrah was at and test the land and show that there's like nothing but sulfur there, and you cannot grow anything on that land, right? You could treat it, you could shock it, you could put some B12, you could whatever you're not gonna get anything to grow on that land, right? Which scientists already proved that, right? That land had to be where Sodom and Gomorrah was at, just like they know where the pillar of salt was at, which is Lot's wife. So these things are all facts. These are all signs. The sun shall be turned into darkness. You've seen that during that eclipse. And the moon into blood, and we had a couple of blood moons. Especially these were back to back, like a couple years back, which is unprecedented, right? Last time this happened, this was 100 years or 200 years ago, and then people go, well, if it happened 200, I mean, it happened 200 years ago, so yeah, but what else happened 200 years or these other years ago? I mean, you think because it happened 200 years ago or happened 1,000 years ago, whatever, how many ever years ago, that it just guarantees you to survive. Well, the bubonic plague happened 1,000 or so years ago, and some people lived and some people died. But it's not guaranteed you're gonna live. But guess what? Those things are all back on the earth, right? And that's what the Lord is showing you. And the sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and notable day of the Lord, which is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, right? Because he's going to give all authority to his son to judge this world. Right? And this whosoever should call on the name of the Lord, that's talking about the Israelites. And then it's not talking about all the Israelites. It's only talking about the elect right now. Right? The Lord ain't dealing with all of Israel. So if the Lord's not dealing with all of Israel, what end is it for you to call on the day of the Lord? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. He's not even dealing with all Israel, so he's definitely not dealing with all the world. You know? As you know, in the Orchomenic sense, right? Yeah, so this is Matthew chapter 4, verse 23. And Yahushai, right, which you know the letter J is only 400 to 500 years old, and the letter E is it's basically not in the Paleo Hebrew, right? Right, the type of Hebrew that the Lord was speaking. Right, this modern Hebrew might have an E, but the Paleo Hebrew or the Canaanite Hebrew that they'll say do not have E's in it, right? So it says Yahushai went about all of Galilee, and he's not Greek, he's a Hebrew Israelite, right? Surely our Lord sprang out of Judah, right? Hebrew being the language, but also it's more than just the language, because they called them the Hebrew people in Egypt, even though the Edomites were Hebrews, right? But throughout all the land, you know, what's named Ishmael is a Hebrew, right? Ishmael is the older son, so they people been knowing about Ishmael way before Israel. Israel's a very young nation, considering, you know, the way the Lord decided to raise them up, even though to show his divine ability to choose who he wants to choose. That's why it's his chosen people, right? So it says, you know, so and Yahushua went about all of Galilee, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom, right? The good news, right? The Lord's coming to die for his people, for their sins, right? Not all the world. And even with that, the Lord said, well, I pray for them, I pray not for the world, right? In the Orchomenic sense. The world that he's dealing with is the world of Yasha'Allah, right? Starting with the elect building the tabernacle of David, right? Ba'af Dawadah, right? So it says, and healing all manners of sickness and all manners of diseases among the people. And that's ultimately what our first manner of disease is mental. Your mentality of having Stockholm syndrome, loving your slave master. That's a disease. But now the Lord's working on getting us out of this chains, this chains of death, right? This body, right? So we could be perfect like him. And he and his fame went, his fame, so like it, and his fame went throughout all Syria, and they brought unto him all sick people that were taken with diverse diseases and torments, and those which were possessed with devils, right? And we have a lot of that happening right now. A lot of you jakes are possessed with devils, man. A lot of you having all sorts of diseases, but it's going to come a time that the Lord is going to raise up his men, and we're going to have diverse miracles instead of just diverse diseases, right? Diverse meaning diverse. You got diverse different type of diseases, but we're going to have diverse different type of miracles, man, of healing, just like the Lord. Right? So it says, get to my point, diverse diseases and torments, and those which were possessed by devils, and those which were lunatics, right? So he's dealing with that lady with the moon, right? She wanted to, because the moon covered the sun, because it's the eclipse. You know, during an eclipse, the moon covers the sun, right? So the chick went she went lunatic, right? Right, which lunatic goes into the word moon, like lunar, right? And yeah, those which were lunatic, and those that had the palsy, and he healed them, right? And we're coming to a time where, hey, that's going to be manifest, that's going to be made real, man, real soon. But the main thing is our people are sick, and we got to make sure that, hey, we're standing on our on true principles, man, and keep ourselves away from certain things, man, right? Keep your prayers up, right? Yeah, so this is Matthew chapter 17, verse 14. And when they were come to the multitude, there came to him a certain man kneeling down to him and saying, right, and it's going to come a day that all knees are going to bow to Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, but ultimately this thing is about the Lord giving all authority to Yahweh Shai, because a lot of you know, you disrespect Yahweh Shai. You'll say you believe in the Bible, and then you know you point out that that Putin went into the vaults to prove what the Lord really looked like, and you get I don't care what the Lord looked like. Don't tell me nothing about nothing like that. I don't care. Well, it's actually in the Bible, so that it should matter. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what he looked. Well, the Lord said you must believe him as he is, man, or there's no truth in you. You must say that the Lord came in the flesh. Well, what flesh did he look like, man? Right? So all knees are gonna bow, man. But we all have to come to the point of humbling ourselves anyway. That's how you come into the truth. You know what I'm saying? You can't come into the truth unless you humble yourself and come in fear. This guy's in fear. Lord, right? Adawanya. Have mercy on me. Have mercy on my son, for he is lunatic, right? He is lunatic. Let's look that up. Right, so this says lunatic.
Lunatic.
This is a mentally ill person, not in the technical use. Yeah, right, you're not using technical use at all, right? Because technically they would just say, well, that's not really technical either, because they'll just say a deranged person or something, right? But, you know, that's just using today's terminology, mentally ill person, right? Manic or madman or mad woman, right? Which that's what that woman, she was a mad woman, right? Lunatic, certified crazy, right? mania or manic. Maniac. Person in exhibiting extra symptoms of wild behavior. A person exhibiting extra symptoms of wild behavior. I don't know what the hell that was to me. Okay. Especially when violent and dangerous. A homicidal maniac, right? Homicidal means what someone kills, murders, right? Okay, so yeah, I guess so. She was shooting at people, so that was basically homicidal, right? Homicidal, to kill people, right? Yeah, come back right here. It says, Adawania, have mercy on my son, or in case what this is my daughter, because that's what the Lord's going to have. He's going to have mercy on the sons and the daughters of Jacob, which is now Israel, because he wrestled with an angel, right? And all Israel shall be saved. But first, it must be the elect first, right? For he is lunatic, right? Homicidal, or she is homicidal. You tripping out about the moon going over the sun, or whatever things she's saying God told her. But you know what? God did tell her through Satan, right? The Lord told Satan to tell, hey, go ahead, make it done, make it happen. Now she's arrested for attempted murder and this and that and all sorts of things, right? And sore vexed, for oft times he falls into the fire, and oft into water, right? And you know what's crazy about that is the Lord gives you that example in Esdras, that you're between a deep place, fire on one side, and deep waters on another. But see, there's people who just fallen into these things of the world. And the Lord said it's a narrow path that only one man can walk through it. See? Hey, this is a very hey man, this is a very important thing that we're doing, that we're living in, man. To do this work, man. Right? And I brought him to thy disciples, and they could not cure him. Right? And the disciple meaning what? Discipline. And so a lot of us need to be more disciplined, you know, including myself. I'm speaking to myself first and foremost, right? But once we get past that, hey man, we're gonna be healing like Yahweh Shai. But right now, look what's going on in the world, right? You saying you're not in biblical times, but yet the things going through all the places that says Nineveh, right? You're right here. We're seeing the lunatics and think we're in the Bible. We're showing the signs of heaven is in the sky, and that definitely a telltale sign that it's the end. When have you ever seen a woman, especially you'd have never thought about that even in the 80s, a so-called black woman just bugging out like, yeah, the Lord told me to do this madness, man. You'd have never thought it, man. We're definitely coming to the end, man. Yeah, so this is Numbers chapter 24, verse 20. And when he looked on Amalek, right? Amalek, which is those small hats that you see in the land of Israel. You know, the Jewish people, right? That's as Amalek.
He took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations.
Right. Yeah, so this is Numbers chapter 24, verse 20. And when he looked on Amalek, right, which Amalek is the grandson of Esau, right, which is those small hatters in the land of Israel, saying that they're Jewish, right, saying they're Israelis, right, because it said that they were gonna divide the land, the Lord's land amongst themselves, right? And he took up his parable and said, Amalek is the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever, right? So he's one who's ruling the international bankers, the one who rules Hollywood, and basically the whole world, the Illuminati. He's the one who's in control of the secret governments, the shadow government, or however you want to call it, whether you want to call it the Illuminati or the shadow government or whatever it is. He's the puppet master behind all these so-called presidents or prime ministers. But the Lord is going to make it to where, hey, your end is going to be an end that's going to be forever, right? You're no longer going to be able to have that type of authority, right? Yeah, so this is Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 5. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, surely in the fire of my jealousy, right? Because the Lord is jealous for his people. And ultimately, that's what this third world woe is about. The Lord is jealous, right, for his people, that well, the elect is no longer worshiping other gods, but there was a time that we were, right? And you know how if you take your lady back, like, you forgive her, but you're still like a little jealous, you know. You might be like, yeah, that's all right, babe. I'll take you back, but you still kind of got that jealousy in you. And that's kind of like what the Lord is doing. He's taking us back, but he's still, he's still jealous. Like, he's still heated about it, Especially for the Lord, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. It's only been 2 days, technically, So he's upset about you touching himself personally, right? Right? You killed him, and then you've been, ever since then, 70 AD until now, you've been touching the apple of the Most High's eye. And then you're going to continue to do it, because the Lord said you're going to come down with great wrath, knowing that you got but a short time. Right? So the Lord is jealous, and I have spoken against the residue of the heathen, right? That's all these nations. That's not the true Israelites, right? And that's Amalek. It's not a true Israelite, right? No matter how much they say that they're Jewish or Jewish, and they walk around with small hats on, which that's not biblical. That is not in the Bible. For you to put that on your head. Yarmulkes are not biblical, right? So it says, and against all Idumea, which is the Greek word of saying Edom, right? Or Esau, Edom, which have appointed my land, right? Which is the land of Israel, into their possession with joy, with the joy of their heart, right? And then it's going to give you the definition of heart. The despiteful mind, right? And that's the definition of heart, is your mind. Despiteful minds, to cast it out for a prey, which is dealing with the people. Where a people before a place. So they had to, you have to get Israel out of that land, or you have to keep Israel not knowing that they're Israel in order to take on the nationality, in order to get into the land and say that you're these people, right? Yeah, so this is Joel chapter 3 verse, I'm going to start with 1. For behold, which means look, feast your eyes, pay attention, in those days and in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, right, which is the southern kingdom, and the northern kingdom, right, which is you so-called blacks, so-called Haitian, so-called Jamaican, which is Judah, right, the Judeans, right, when the time of our Lord, Yahweh Shai, who the world can call Jesus Christ, lived in the land, when he said to render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, there were only Judah, Benjamin, and Levi there, which are called the Judeans, which is Judah. And you got the northern kingdom from Ephraim on down, which Ephraim is the so-called Puerto Ricans, on down to the so-called Mexicans, right? You Mexicans, the so-called Native Americans, from the Puerto Ricans to the Native Americans to the Mexicans, right? It's Jerusalem. And I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh Shabbat, right? It's time for Judgment Day, man. It's time for World War III. That's what the Lord is gearing up, man. That's that jealousy of the Most High, right? And will plead with them, and plead means what? To judge with them there for my people and for my heritage, right? It's not just talking about the land, because he said people first, right? My people and for my heritage, for my people and for the land that you despitefully possessed in your heart, and all the joy and the spitefulness of minds, right? You thought it was cool that you took the Lord's people's identity, and then you took the land, and then you brag about someone having identity crisis or whatever, however you, I don't know how they say, the black identity extremists, or yeah, that's what it was, black identity extremists, right? Which you're the one who has the identity problem, right? Because you're trying to say you're the Greeks, you're not the Greeks, right? You try to say you're European, but you're not the Europeans, man. Technically, you know what I'm saying? Come and conquer Australia, America. Now you're in Australia. Now you're an American. Now you're South American. You're Puerto Rican. You're a Mexican. You're Canadian, right? All these things, these names that you Edomites are not. Who has the actual identity issue, man? So what we're gonna tell you, you're Idumean. You're the Edomites, man. You're Esau, Edom, right? And the Lord's gonna plead, and I will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel, right, which is the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, whom they have scattered among all nations. And what? Parted my land. They took the Lord's land and parted it. between them and the Palestinians, which they are currently bombing to hell and back. They don't want to share no more. Yeah, so this is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 45. It says, Therefore hear ye the counsel of Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, that he have taken against Babylon, which is America, right? And his purpose that he hath purposed against the land of the Chaldeans, right? Because America's dealing with all this witchcraft, the news, the things that Amalek has full power over and basically use in America, the media, right? Media goes into medium, right? Which is another form of witchcraft or summoning spirits, right? And it says, shall the least of the flock, which is Amalek, right? Amalek, the one who has taken the Lord's land in their possession, while deceitfulness of mind, right? And the Lord's people took the Lord's people and scattered them among all nations into slavery. So we figure that we will never be able to claim or call ourselves Israelites ever again. So they could take on that nationality and say these things and continue to rule the world forever. But obviously the Lord, it's already written, and he has you in a trick bag, man. Right? You're doing all the things that the Lord said you were going to do. All the way to the Karagma, man. All the way down to the Karagma. You're doing it, man. The mark of the East. You're gonna put the digital wallet in everybody that you possibly can, except for the elect. Right? So it says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out, right? They're going to draw you into World War III, which is surely but slowly coming, man. It's getting there. And really, actually, it's speeding up. It's getting there a lot faster than we expected. Surely he shall make their habitations a desolation with them at the noise of the taking of Babylon, which is those ICBM missiles, man. 200 million missiles are going to hit America, man, and turn it into a desert. Taking of Babylon, the earth is moved and the cries is heard among the nations. So the whole world is going to hear it, which they're going to see it, man. Why? Because there's a such thing called the internet. So the whole world is going to see it. And they're going to hear it, and they're going to see it, and they're going to feel it, man. Because the earth is going to reel to and fro like a drunkard, man. Right? Yeah, so this is Ezekiel 38:3. And say, thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, behold, which means feast your eyes, look, pay attention. I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, right? Which you might also just go into prince, because chief. Well, you can go into chief. Chief means Rasha or Rasha, which is chief. And then if you go into prince, prince basically means chief and prince. So Russia, that's how you know it's Russia, because you go into the word chief, it goes into the word Rasha, which basically, and then a prince is basically a prince, a ruler, or chief, right? just in it within itself, right? So it says of Meshach and Tubal, and will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, which is turning Russia basically into that USSR mentality, which wasn't even that long ago. Come to find out, this was just in the 80s. They had the Cold War stuff going on in the 80s. So you're talking 40 years later, hey, and it's about to be on and popping, right? 40 or so years later, you know, hey, man. And 40, I believe 40 is like like a number of, I'm just speaking as a man, but I believe it's like the renewal of something dying and then coming back, or something being destroyed and being renewed. Right? So it says, yeah, to bring, yeah, put them back. I will put hooks in thy jaws and bring thee, and will bring thee forth, and all thy armies and horses and horsemen, and all them clothed with all sorts of armor, right? In that military posture, right? They're going to be ready to come against America, but they're going to be also ready to war against Yahushua. Even a great company, right? With buckler and shields, and all of them handling sword, right? And this is how we know that the small one is going to draw you into a flock. And it says Iran, which if you type it in, look it up, Iran was initially known as Persia, and which is not even that long ago. You're talking 1950s, 1940s time frame that it went from Iran to Persia. I mean, from Persia to Iran, which is fairly new. And some of them still call themselves Persians, so they know who they are, right? It says Ethiopia, right, which when you go into the BRICS nations, one of the nations that just signed up to the BRICS nations, or the BRICS, as they call it now, is Ethiopia. And Libya, with them, with them, all of them with shield and helmet, right? For what? World War III. They're going to draw you out into the battle of World War III. So America could be destroyed, man. And then Russia is forced to fight Yahushua, right? Right, so this is Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 12. And it shall come to pass, at that time, right? That time where World War III is happening, all these different calamities, the uproars of the people is happening, right? That I will search Jerusalem with candles, right? Candle, what bring the light upon what? Darkness, upon your wickedness, and punish the men that are settled on their lees, right? You're on BS, you're on party and BS, or you're just slacking on things that you know you need to get done, right? Which I've been slacking. But you pick it up. So I've been slacking, but I pick it up. You know what I mean? You talk to yourself first. You know what I mean? And that's what this is. Taking accountability. Right? That say in their heart, Yahweh will not do good, neither do evil. And you know, that's a bold-faced lie. The Lord either going to do good or he's either going to do evil. The Lord's not in between. The Lord said, if you are lukewarm, I will spew you out of my mouth. That's a lukewarm, you're saying the Lord is lukewarm, right? And we know that's not true. Yeah. So this is 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And if it first begin at us, says, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai? What end is it for you? For your Esau Edom. Your thing is to throw the truth behind you, right? Right along with you 2/3, man. Your job is to throw the truth behind you, right? It's insignificant for you to have the truth, right? Yeah, that's even perfect, right? And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall be the ungodly? Where are you going to be at? Why would you desire the day of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai? Why would you desire it? What end is it for you? Your end, it will be only destruction. Because if the righteous scarcely be scared, what in it for you to be ungodly? You don't believe in God, you don't believe in this, you don't believe in that, or you do believe in God, and you say you're a man of the Lord, but then you're slacking. And like I said, I would have to start with myself first. You know what I mean? And like I said, I rebuke myself, right? Hey man, you gotta get off. Hey, you slacking. You know what I mean? I had to say that to myself today, man. Get up, man. Do this lesson. Right? Yeah. And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? It is impossible to stand before the Lord without being incinerated and turned into powder, right? Or off with your head, one or the other. Bring them hither before me and slay them, right? Yeah, so it says Revelation chapter 13, 13 verse 14. And he deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, right? Right, you know, he says Revelation chapter 13 verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, right? And so we're coming to the time that at one point in time it was the Christianity ostracism, which they're going to use the ostracism anyway, as far as the community things like that. They're gonna use the ostracism again, but this time you're talking everything is digital. You got cell phones, you got digital things. You could video, right? You might say, hey, they might say, hey, where's one of those Hebrew Israelites, or where you think these, and people will be pulling out their phone, record. I think he there he is right there. They're gonna zoom in on you. They're gonna have their what is that shit? Facial recognition. It might be start trying to put facial recognition in your cell phones, right? Because people video camera and everything, right? So hey, this thing is gonna be able to speak, right? And by the way of decree of their democracy back in the time, it was the plebeian and the patricians, or if I'm saying it the right way, none of the Romans. Now you got the Democrat and Republicans, but now that is all going to turn to digital, right along with the dollar, right? And it says, and causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell save he, right? And I like how it says, save he that have the mark. And what are you doing? You're technically trying to save yourself. But the Lord said, if you save yourself, what? You shall lose your life. You're not going to be written in the book of life. You're going to lose your life, right? And it says, he that have, save he that have the mark, or the number of, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name, right? Dealing with this numerical system of 666, which that's Esau's number. It's always been his number, right? A lot of the policies, a lot of these certain things that they really get down with, the barcode system, all these things have the 666 in it, right? Yeah, so this is Revelation chapter 14 verse 9, and he and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man, right, which is talking about the Israelites, not talking about everybody, it's talking about the Israelites. It's not talking about everybody like that, but you saying you're a so-called believer, and then you like to throw in the world, and if any believe, right, call on the name. Well, if any man worship the beast and the image and receive his mark in his what? Forehead, or in his hand, right hand, left hand, it doesn't matter, in your hand, what? The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is poured out without mixture, right? There's basically no mercy. Into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, which is Yahweh Shai. You're going to be destroyed, man. There ain't no coming back from that. Why? Because you wanted to get the digital wallet. You want to be down with the system. You didn't want to be ostracized, or you didn't want to starve to death. You want to say, well, God will understand. You go into your Christian bag and go into God understands. He knows your heart. Yeah. It's exceedingly wicked above all things. Yes, he knows that. right? Yeah, so this is Matthew chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of what wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For what nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom? So you're gonna have, you know, you're gonna have these different wars that's happening. You got the Gaza, Israel-Gaza so-called war, which is not really a war, but now you got Israel against Iran. Then you got Israel against Hamas, right? You got America against the Yemen. You got Russia against Ukraine. And now you're about to have China against Taiwan and America. So you have a lot of things going on, right? So it says, and there should be what? Famines and pestilence. So you know that's happening right now. So many places, even in America, right here. A lot of people are starving. Famines and pestilence and earthquakes, right? Oh, going back to where we started, back to earthquakes and diverse places, which mean different places. And all these are the beginning of sorrows, right? Yeah, so this is 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 3. Says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, going back into where we first started, earthquakes and uproars of the people, right? Because these people are they're rioting. People are getting sick and tired of being just shafted, and valid things are being brought up. You know, where's our money? Where's our children? What happened to the freedoms that you said we were gonna have? What happened to the, you know, all the things that we put into, you know, all of it was all a lie, right? Then basically they fought the kids in a march and killed the rest of the kids, right? So that's basically, they killed off the witnesses, because only they really knew what really happened. No one really knows. They're just throwing it out there. They ain't really saying what really happened. They just saying, oh yeah, they apologized. One person resigned, and that was it, right? So it says, so therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people, then shall thus well understand the Most High, which is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, starting with the Most High being Yahweh, which means He is, or He, the existing one, right? Through His only begotten Son, which He delivers, right? Which Yahweh Shai is the meaning to Yahweh Shai. He delivers, or He saves, which I believe is more close to the He delivers, right? Spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning, right? This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. Woe, which means destruction, weeping and gnashing of teeth, man. Right? Destruction on many levels. Right? Race wars, riots, famine, death, pestilence, and ultimately the ICBM missiles. To them that dwell, to the world and them that dwell therein, right? Because the whole world is going to be judged, right? It says the Lord is going to visit the world that He had made. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and the people shall stand up and fight against another, and sword in their hand, and for there shall be sedition amongst men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the cause of their actions shall stand in their power, right? And that's ultimately what was happening, man. The power of the elites and the power even of the people. Because, well, most of you people are asleep, right? You're still asleep. There should be plenty of reasons why you should have been doing that. Like even them. They're finally, you're talking about people who've been missing since 2014. Here it is 2024, and now you decide to burn the government buildings and the cars. That's something that should have been done in 2014, right? But then the Lord is starting to rouse the people. This is all orchestrated from the Most High, even though the elite think that they're doing it. It's really the Most High. Because these people have been asleep, not riled up. What was it, a while back ago? I mean, years ago. They were sent over 1,000 or something kids, or something like that, was missing in the Florida system. You tell me that ain't a reason to riot and burn up stuff, but you know what you Jakes did? You did that for George Floyd. The nigga was sitting around smoking crack and having sex and pornos, man. That's who you went and rioted for, man. Not the innocent little children that's actually missing. The people who you need to be rioted for. The innocent and righteous blood, but that's really for the Lord to riot for. And that's what he's doing. He's going to bring forth that judgment. He's going to plead with all flesh, man. That's why he said the world, woe to the world, right? For there shall be sedition amongst men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the cause of their actions shall stand in their what? Power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, man. It's gonna be race wars, riots, and then ultimately they're gonna have these martial law. They're gonna have checkpoints and all these crazy things, forcing the conditions to you get the charagma. No man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. Unless you're trying to save yourself and get the mark, you can't eat. Right? So with all that, I'm going to give all praise and honor and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rakak Wadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. Elder bishops in Connecticut, the elder bishops around the world, the brothers around the world, preaching in truth and sincerity in the four winds. The hopeful elect, the elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father, have come back to the fold. Shalom, to you sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence, and a Baba Ball.